Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to attempt to make a real-life CandyLand in The Sims 4. We are building here in San Sequoia, the world that comes with growing together. And this build is on a 64 by 64 lot, but I'm still worried about space. And I'm just trying to give us as much surface area as possible here. All right, so now we have kind of like our terrain going on. I do want to use like the murky water here because it's supposed to be like where Gloppy the mud thing lives. I wanted to use like carpet for our path and do like all the different colors, but I'm worried that yeah, we can't like go up the hill. So we used rugs. The camera angle makes it look weird sometimes. Like here that looks fine, but then this one looks weird. But if your sim is actually by that rug, it will look fine. All right, and so then before we do landscaping, I do want to do shells. Okay, here's what I might do for Plumpy. So we have this tree stump from Enchanted by Nature. And then I think what I might do is something like this, where we then delete the room underneath. I think that looks really cool. And then we can do like a little deck up here. I do like the idea of it being stairs that lead up there. We can do like a wood railing here. Okay, cute. And then for roofing, I am going to size this shrub up a ton to be like the top of our tree. And I think maybe just do like a little hip roof under there. So like there is something there. It's like he's in a tree. And then also what I think we can do is take like one of these so everything just looks a little bit more tree-like. I think that's cool. I definitely want this to look like wood. I might do this for his house. I think we can do maybe a purple door to tie in like the plum aspect. Okay, wait, like the purple and green Enchanted by Nature one is really cute. And then I think we can put a littler version in the back because this is how you're actually going to get in. As far as windows go, I think at this point we probably stay Enchanted by Nature. And I mean, he's like a troll, I think, so that makes sense. All right, so we have some windows on there. I think this is looking really cute. Okay, I looked up plum, but we don't have it. I may just look up ball and see if we don't have anything purple. Okay, see, like we have this yarn ball and it's definitely like the color I'm looking for the plums. All right, we've got one plum in there. My goal is to have a bunch. Okay, with the plums and a little landscaping done, here is our final exterior for Plumpy. I think this is cute. I love the touch of like plums on the ground. And then I did actually add those like flower boxes up there, but I think this turned out really, really cute. We've got plums kind of all over the place. And then any other landscaping, so like trees and things like that, we will do at the end so we can have all of our shells. I also added this stack right here. It's this little like rectangle rug sized up and then just stacked on top of each other. But the goal here was to make it look like if you were actually playing CandyLand, this is like your stack of cards that you would draw. We can now move over to Mr. Mime's house. I don't want a huge shell for Mr. Mint. I always want to call him Mr. Mime, like from Pokemon. Okay, I added just a few bump outs to make the shell a little more interesting. I feel like honestly, it could be cool to give Mr. Mime like, why do I keep saying that? To give Mr. Mint like a really cool roof. Like, he's kind of eccentric, I feel like. So I think it could be cool to give him, like, the hexagonal roof, like that, maybe. Okay, yeah, this is kind of funky. And then I feel like we go bold red roofing. Okay, wait, actually, before we do roofing, I have an idea. Yes, okay, this Love Struck, like, stucco or whatever it is, I'm going to put it on every other wall. Okay, it's kind of giving circus right now. Mr. Mint is striking me as, like, a chimney kind of guy. Like, I think this one is kind of fun. Unfortunately, I think I am going to change that roof. Okay, let's do this, but can we get like a big red window up there? There, that way there's still some red up there. We have this for Mr. Mint so far. I think we'll put it up on a little bit of a foundation. We do have a lot of snow from Snowy Escape debug that we can totally use as landscaping. All right, so we've got a fair amount of snow landscaping going on out here, especially in the back. It's like flooding onto the street, but I don't necessarily hate hate that. I feel like it's a nice like stopping point. Okay, for some insane reason, I thought we had candy canes in The Sims, but I guess we don't. So the yarn balls once again are coming in clutch here. So I'm just taking white and red ones and stacking them on top of each other. That kind of works. All right, so here we have our exterior of Mr. Mint's house. And I think this one turned out cute. I was annoyed about the candy canes, but I think our makeshift ones totally look fine. Okay, then I want to move here to Lord Licorice's house. I also did a little bit of editing on our path, so none of the rugs like overlap. Okay, and Lord Licorice is evil. Unfortunately, I do think we want to do a rounded room. Okay, and I feel like we can do something like this. It's definitely creeping into Plumpy's territory. And then I'm going to take rooms so we can connect these rounded rooms. All right, let's get to roofing this monstrosity here. I want them to be pointy and like kind of curved in. I always feel like that gives the illusion of like a little bit more sinister. And then the same up here, but obviously we're going to have to size it up quite a bit. All right, so we've got this. I do want the whole thing on a little bit taller of a foundation. We'll do a black exterior. I kind of like these shingles from Get Famous. This is feeling very similar to the build I made for Count Olaf's house in a series of unfortunate events. But we want a red roof here. Maybe we'll do this one. Yeah, that's giving evil, right? Okay, I feel like we have to do a door that can go on curved walls, which is super annoying. Let's get our windows in here. This build is starting to frustrate me quite a bit. You know what? We might have to do these castle estate ones. Okay, I think this is good. I also don't know why, like, when I'm on lower floors, my windows show up, but when I, like, go up to the top, they go away. That's very strange to me. I've never seen that before, and I've, like, restarted my game, and it keeps doing it. So, I don't know. That's what we've got so far for him. Yeah, I do want to landscape the tiniest bit for him. I think, like, one of these dead trees from vampires. I do want a lot of our landscaping to just be rocks. Like, I don't want it to be super beautiful or anything. Okay, and I like the rocks in the back too. I think that brings it together quite a bit. So then let's move over here to Jolly's house. And I did off camera a while ago make this gumdrop pass. There are these little plants called wild gumdrop, and I actually think they are the most like gumdrop looking thing we have. Okay, I'm going to try to do something with a house I have never done before, so let's see if it works. I'm just going to make a huge square, a gabled roof piece, like rounded out. Like, is this kind of giving gumdrop? Why do I feel like it is, right? Like a little rounded out A-frame house? Guys, we're totally doing this. We could do the outside of the house like this. Okay, but then I feel like our roof has to be pink. Okay, wait, yes, and I usually hate this wallpaper, but I feel like for Jolly, it just makes sense. Wait, I think this is so cute. Let's do a door. Again, like it's cutesy as possible. Like, I think this stained glass one is so cute. We'll get some windows. We can honestly do like the matching ones and mix them with like these really pretty ones down here. And I feel like for Jolly, we could definitely do some like flower boxes and stuff. It's a very big transformation from our Lord Licorice aesthetic. And I think it could be cute if each flower box was like a different color. For flowers, I definitely think we do a bunch of these gumdrops. We can just add like a absolute bunch of these. Like, I feel like that's cute with like all the gumdrops around it. I'm going to take a bunch of these orb lights and size them just enough so we can kind of see them. Okay, and it's getting dark in my game, which is like perfect. So then my hope is that like as it gets darker, yes, okay, then these sort of light up like Jolly's gumdrops do. I think that's really fun, right? The bigger ones don't light up as much, that's okay, but these little ones I think are really glowing. I think that looks so cool there. And then I do think there are these plants from Enchanted by Nature. I think they might be debug though. These, I also feel like I could really see Jolly liking plants like this. And I think even making them pretty big is kind of fun, kind of fits with like the whimsical nature of this build. Okay, I'm really happy with how Jolly's house turned out. I feel like the gumdrops are so cute, especially here at night with the glow. I think that makes them really fun. And then we can move over here to Grandma Nut. And Grandma Nut just lives in like the most basic little house you've ever seen. I do want to make it a little large, like larger than I probably normally would for a house that's just a square. However, I feel like Grandma Nut, because she is like characteristically not in a very fancy house, I want to make sure we have enough room to like put stuff in there. We probably want like a light brown for like the peanut brittle. I honestly kind of like this tile. Ooh, no, let's do this for the peanut brittle. Wait, that is perfect. Okay. I would love if we had like a little dormer that fit this aesthetic. Okay, we do have this cute little one. That way our roof isn't so boring. And then there's definitely a specific chimney I want. Yeah, this one. Like it kind of looks like on the board game that she has a chimney just like that. Wall pattern, let's try to find one that looks like peanut brittle. This isn't bad. Oh wait, this is totally what we're going with. And it kind of matches the roof. Oh yeah, I'm sold. I almost like a cottage living door for her. But I feel like this one with the little wreath is like very Grandma Nut. For windows, we're gonna stay in that brown realm for sure. I love this like heart one from my wedding stories up at the top. And then I think we just go with some of these like standard base game windows. What I might do is give her like little planter boxes out here and put like little plants inside of both of them. Okay, stuff like that, because I don't know what peanuts grow out of, so then we have kind of two options. And then she is given like big old tree in the back vibes. Like I think this one is pretty cute, the elm tree. But then I do think I see her perhaps as like a hedge person, which isn't always easy to do on like an incline, but I think that looks all right. And she strikes me as like a sunflower lady. Okay, and then we have our cute little Grandma Nut like house. I think this might be the like my favorite one we've done so far, which is funny because it's like the least creative, but I just think it turned out really cute. And I think it's a nice contrast to like some of the houses we do have. God, Lord Licorice's house is so big. Okay, now we can move on to Princess Lolly. And this is hard because Princess Lolly, I want to have like a castle, right? But I don't want it to be a bigger or nicer castle than Queen Frostine or King Candy. Okay, what I might do with her is make a 3-story home with like small circles out here. Maybe something like this, and we can bring it back just like a little bit. Okay, cute. I think for roofing, obviously we will do the circular roof, and then we can do a gabled roof behind it. We can put it up on like a teeny tiny foundation. I don't think it needs to be on anything crazy. And then I think before we even do like painting or anything, I want to landscape with all of our like lollipops. And I just want these things like everywhere. I think that looks pretty cute on this side. Okay, we've got like our landscaping for Lolly done. I think that looks so cool. For a roof, I actually want to try maybe doing like a blue. I think that's kind of a cool color combination actually, because I'm thinking then we could do blue windows. And I'm thinking something kind of modern. Like I like these business and hobbies ones. We can combine it with these like base game ones on the rounded part. Okay, and then it looks like on the board game, Lolly also has some like gumdrops around. So I might just take a few of these, especially because they do a good job of like hiding the lollipop stems. Okay, there. And then I think, let me get a light on this. Okay, yeah, and then with all the landscaping, there is Princess Lolly's house. The back is a little janky. I might landscape that a little bit more later, but as of now, I think this is a really good foundation. Now we can move into Queen Frostine. Okay, for Queen Frostine here, I definitely want to do another castle box in the center. And then I need to be very, very careful with my rounded rooms here. So we'll put 2 here like Lolly's. But then I also want to kind of do something like this. Okay, I feel like this is going to be our shell for Queen Frostine. We will raise it up on a foundation that's decently tall. What's happening here? Okay, let's just do that then. I want our outside to look as much like a ice cream cone as possible. Let's do this like warm wood paneling from Snowy Escape. And then I think also maybe we give her this like fencing. Let's get roofing on, probably rounded roofing here, and then like a bigger roof up there. Okay, it's not really looking like ice cream yet. We can put this like castle door here. The thing is, if we had like the pet poop in white, I mean, it's gross, but that would be like ideal. Okay, wait, this is kind of working. If we take that debug enchanted by nature cone and put it in there. So we're gonna put it in this basement here, and it's definitely going to take a lot of maneuvering. However, it's starting to look kind of good. All right, let's get windows on this castle. I really like this one, although maybe the smaller one fits a little bit better. Definitely going to be a lot of castle estate usage in this build. We can get these matching stairs. I feel like too, for whatever reason, a crystal tree is like calling my name out here. Just maybe out here, I think can be pretty. And then I just want to landscape with these like thistle flowers. And then just like some of these like taller hollyhocks in there. I think that's pretty. All right, pretty. And there is our loose Queen Frostine castle. The ice cream cones are huge, but I think it looks really cute. And I like that it is different enough from Princess Lolly's castle. So now we can go up here and do King Candy. All right, we've got like our landscaping going on down here. So then we can go up and build King Candy's castle. My terrain is like never as smooth as I want it to be. We're gonna have to accept it at some point, I think. All right, let's do a main box here, and then maybe like a square here. Maybe actually I'll make it symmetrical. We'll put this one on like a decent little foundation. I think we make these back towers like a little higher. And then I think for King Candy, we go with like a similar color scheme to Queen Frostine, but maybe we do this fence instead. Okay, right? That's looking good. I think for wallpaper, I almost want to stay Castle Estate. And then I think we'll just go in and like candy the heck out of it later. Here we can use like the big window, and then maybe these longer ones. I want this castle to look super just like royal and regal. We definitely though need to like candy the heck out of this place. What I might do, since he's King Candy, is take like a little bit of everybody's stuff. Okay, so like we have these cotton candies that I feel like we could use. And then we obviously have like the lollipops we can use. And then I think we can also use like the gumdrops as landscaping. Okay, there we've got some gumdrops. And then I think that will be it probably for our King Candy house, which means I will go through and do kind of last minute landscaping. But overall, this is sort of our CandyLand layout. All right, and then all cluttered up, here is our final CandyLand build. We have Plumpy's house, Lord Licorice's house. Again, I don't know why the windows are doing that, but there we are. We have our stack of cards, Mr. Mint's home, Jolly's home. Instead of doing like traditional trees, I put a bunch of like this green cotton candy around. There's Queen Frostine's house, Princess Lolly's house. Grandma Nut is like tucked away in the back here, and King Candy's house here. Overall, this was really fun. It's been a minute since I've done more of this like whimsical style build, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to leave a like or a comment and subscribe for more videos like these, and to see my next video where we furnish the inside of all of these homes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.